So where did Ukrainians actually take action this week? And why has panic in particular gripped occupied Crimea? Our correspondent from TSN Week, Oleksandr Zagorodniy, will explain. It's floating, 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 so when will it be blown up?
There's a saying, if an unmanned boat isn't blown up, it blows up on its own. For example, by destroying an oil loading pier in the Russian city of Tuapse. Holy shit, that's really burning.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thank God it's there.
This week, good maritime and aerial drones imposed sanctions on Russia's main Black Sea ports, Novorossiysk and Tuapse. In Novorossiysk, the sniper-like air defense and naval gunners are firing so wildly that they end up setting several of their own buildings, a hotel, and local cars on fire. The battered remnants of the Black Sea Fleet, instead of defending, are destroying the city they've been hiding in for the third year now.
Oh my God, the cars are burning. Something really hit them very hard.
The air defense for cars obviously is weaker. The port is mostly defended with small arms. Random vacationers are suffering from stray bullets. They picked the worst time to come for the velvet season.
So here we are lying down, greeting bullets with our heads, unable to make it to the beach. Someone got wounded, they're screaming over there.
After a powerful explosion in the port of Tuapse, the siren finally goes off. Now even the Russians know what an air raid siren sounds like. Damn, the shockwave is about to reach us. In the last 2 weeks alone, 15 major oil facilities have caught fire in Russia. And that's very timely, military expert Ivan Stupak notes with a smile.
Right now, it's really vacation season. The season when these refineries are taken offline for repairs. And Ukraine says, "Good evening, I'm the dispatcher. We're checking the condition of your refineries."
If in the summer Ukraine carried out isolated strikes on Russian oil giants, now there's a systematic approach, notes expert Serhiy Koyun. And yes, he agrees as well. The timing was chosen well. The best timing.
Time is working against them because they've always had a tough situation at the peak of the season. That is in August, September. They've always had a shortage of gasoline. And now we've added a little more at this peak and everything just fell apart over there.
Analysts from reporting from Ukraine note that Ukraine has managed to turn isolated, irregular attacks into a powerful destruction of Russia's key economic sector. The Samara, Syzran, Saratov, Ilsky and Afipsky oil refineries in the Krasnodar region are burning. Strikes have also been carried out on one of the largest processing plants in the Volgograd region. Already 21% of Russia's oil refining capacity has been put out of commission. And the good news is there's almost nothing left to repair them with. A fuel shortage, especially of gasoline, has hit the south. In Crimea, there's practically none left.
There's no gasoline at all in the city, only diesel. And now they've brought in 2 tankers, but everyone will buy it up right away and that'll be it. That's how it is. The situation with gasoline, in short, isn't changing. There's no 95, 92, or 100 octane. Only diesel is available. I have a range of 40 kilometers left. There's no gasoline in Belgorod.
The shortage that exists in Russia today shows that we managed to hit exactly where we needed to. It's precisely these bottlenecks, the most important ones, like the technological units at the plant that actually process the oil.
Yeah, well... And an even thinner thread was found, the one on which the entire oil dollar business of the gas station country hangs. And it has become the priority of the new Ukrainian tactic. Destroying not only oil refineries, but also trying to hit the export of oil products itself is what expert Serhiy Koyun believes should be done.
Oil pumping stations are also like the needle of Koshchei's death. It's a bottleneck. A plant where people move around dozens of hectares by bus through these factories. And what is an oil pumping station? It's a local facility and it's a very convenient target. That's why all these huge tens of millions of tons of oil for export pass through it every month.
Of course, pumping stations are repaired quickly, but they also catch fire again just as quickly. And in the near future, the Russians might face a problem. What to do with the oil? And the solution? Should they kill the goose that lays the golden eggs?
If you shut down a well, you usually can't restart it. And if you do manage to restart it, it takes a huge amount of money and time. And it's a kind of roulette. You might be able to restore it or you might not. That's why it's a nightmare for any driller.
And while it's not a global issue, it's a very painful one for the Russians and very beneficial for us, this cotton. In the past week, several helicopters in Crimea have been permanently grounded.
Here are the helicopters. The fuselage is just lying there.
Likewise, 2 more and 26 transport planes have been destroyed in Crimea. And importantly, 2 maritime reconnaissance aircraft as well. It was these aircraft that were preventing our naval drones from operating freely. But perhaps the biggest catch was the fighter jet over Zaporizhzhia, which was preparing to drop a guided bomb. These glide bombs, or REFABs, are perhaps the last trump card the Russians have, which we hope we've now found a way to counter. As winter approaches, the Russians will traditionally try to destroy Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Chernihiv was without power for several days. Intimidating the civilian population is a characteristic trait of Russia. So the flights of Russian military aircraft over the Baltic countries and drones over Scandinavian civilian airports are elements of the same tactic. And just in case, Europeans would do well to follow the example of Ukrainians and shoot down a few Russian planes, Ivan Stupak believes, for prevention. Because Russians only understand strength. Oleksandr Zagorodniy, Valentin Shilkote, price per week 1.1. Marathon, the only news.
Ukraine has struck 60 strategic energy facilities in Russia over the past 6 weeks. Analysts from reporting from Ukraine note that Ukraine's campaign of using long-range drones against Russian oil refineries has achieved phenomenal results. Almost a fifth of the oil refining capacity of the aggressor country has been put out of operation. Experts note that Ukraine has managed to turn isolated, irregular attacks into a powerful assault on Russia's oil refining industry. As examples, they cite the strikes on the Samara, Syzran, Saratov, Ilsky, and Afipsky oil refineries in the Krasnodar region. There were also attacks on one of the largest processing enterprises in the Volgograd region and Bashkortostan. The plants were attacked using a similar pattern, a powerful attack and air raids that make repairs impossible. According to experts, after 6 attacks over 6 weeks, the plant was completely put out of commission. As soon as the refinery tried to restore its equipment, repeated strikes were carried out, keeping the facility inoperable. Over the past 2 weeks, the country has struck at least 15 major oil facilities, including refineries and pumping stations across Russia. In total, over 2 months, 21% of the aggressor's oil refining capacity has been damaged or put out of commission. Satellite images have confirmed large fires and damage to oil refining towers and storage tanks. Suspicious drones were spotted near Sweden's main naval base. This was reported by local media. Last night over the Swedish archipelago, near Karlskrona, a pair of unidentified UAVs were spotted. Both were shining with red and green lights, which made them visible in the dark. Local police have already opened a case under articles concerning violations of aviation law and the law on the protection of facilities. The airspace of Denmark was also disturbed by unidentified UAVs, according to the country's Ministry of Defense. Drone flights were observed near military facilities, in particular over the main airbase of the Royal Danish Air Force in Karup. Several birds were observed over its territory. The military say that special units were deployed for a rapid response to the incident, but the results of the operation have not been disclosed. And the Ukrainian Center for Countering Disinformation of the National Security and Defense Council has commented on this, stating that ignoring such incidents will not help Europeans. They say that Russia aims to paralyze air traffic in certain European countries, and if there is no response, the number of drones in the skies over European states may increase. The head of the center, Andriy Kovalenko, explains that in this way, Moscow is trying to spread the idea among Europeans that supporting Ukraine harms the EU, as well as to boost the standing of pro-Russian politicians. But above all, the Kremlin's goal is to make Europe dependent and to restore its influence from the days of the Soviet Union.